Hello, everybody, and welcome to the UKessays.com Better Racing League. My name is Lewis Edwards, and I'm going to be your commentator today for this endurance event. Today, we have got not just one full race distance, we have got a 200% race in store for everybody today. I hope everybody's feeling well. I hope everybody's feeling ready for some action. And we are ready for 200% race. This is going to be a tough one. We're going to have a quick look at my own socials to give me a little shout out. This is who I am. This is where you can find me. I'm going to move quickly over to the calendar. This is where we are. We're round 9. It is reverse championship order, 200% race distance, double the prize money, and potentially double the points. Well, I believe that's been changed. Today, it's quite simple. 2 100% races to form a big 200% race. Now, the points, you will get 15 points for first place, 14 for second, all the way back down to 15th place. But you must finish the race to score points. So if you don't finish the race and you DNF and effectively be given 8th place by the game, you will not score the 8 points that go with that 8th place. So it's important to get to the end. Now we're going to have a look at the championship standings at the moment. There are 2 rounds remaining, and it's looking pretty good for Simo Pez. There is a solid, 18-point gap between him and the next car, and in the last race there will only be 10 points available for first place. So the maximum points available is 25. Now, we have got straight into it on the other screen, so we're going to swap right over here while we wait for the cars to get underway. In fact, we've got a few seconds. I'm just going to quickly flash up the driver lineup. And these are the drivers who are going to be undertaking this endurance challenge today. The big news is that Alan, driving for Aston Martin, has come out of retirement to come and drive today. Now, custom grid, we've got reverse championship order, but Alan and Bullet Eater 80 are both starting from the back. They chose to start from the back, either for a challenge or because they thought they'd crash into people and wanted to avoid crashing into people and stay safe on the racetrack. So we're on the formation lap, and it's going to be Snaggletooth who is going to be guiding them off the line and around this formation lap. We have got Clay Racing in second place, the 11-year-old who is undertaking some sim racing. He's got about 7 points in the championship at the moment, which is very impressive for somebody starting sim racing so young. Moomin Graham in third. This is the predicted strategy. It reckons a 2-stop or a 3-stop is the way to go, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I think safety car is the only thing that's going to be changing that strategy. How are the levels on the stream, people in chat? Is the game volume compared to me and then just each of them? We've got Barks, the man himself, in 4th. Got Neil in 5th, Eisenberg in 6th, Brooke in 7th, Zabby Jack at 8th, Laps Peretz in 9th, Emilio, Julius Race, Racing Warren, Dirt Shark, Fred, Simo Pez, the other Emilio, Alan and Bullet Eater round out the grid. So you can see they've all formed up, ready for the start of this race. We are going to put the tyres on. I'm going to put a mini map on, and we're going to get some lights. Hopefully, it looks like they're all ready to go. It's 5 lights. And away we go. It's a good start for Snaggletooth. It's not been a good start from Clay Racing in the house. He's been swamped as they go into turn 1. So Snaggletooth at leads, and AlphaTauri's up to second. That's Moon and Graham. There's been Chaos behind. Oh, Chaos further back there. There's an AlphaTauri off right in the background. But I think that's Barks who's gone round there. There's definitely been some action further back as it's all beginning to kick off. Got to see the Renault there, and there's a Sauber going, Alfa Romeo, pardon me, going slowly on the exit there. So we're our championship protagonists. Simo is still only 14th, but it's early doors and he is starting on the medium tyres. Brook is up to second. I've been told he's one to watch with quite a bit of pace, so he'll be happy with that. Oh, but there's some running wide from a Haas there. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Zabi Jackie getting very sideways there. Renault's gone for a move on the inside. It's not quite paid off. He's now going to lose time to the Williams on the X. And to the third sector, the Aston's backed out of it. So in this series, we're calling what may be known to you as Racing Point. Brooks got the lead up front. As I was saying, the Racing Point in F1 is actually Aston Martin in this, and the Renault is Alpine Renault. There's a Haas who's down pit lane at the moment. Neil's got a penalty. That's not what you want to see at the start of this race. But what are we seeing here? It's a glitch. Thought for a second Clay had managed to somehow get up to first there, but that's actually a glitch. Brook is the leader at the moment. We're going to go on board with him. A little bit wide. We may have instantly commentator cursed him, but he's doing a good job so far. He's got a fairly good gap to Dirt Shark, who's also made his way past Snaggletooth, who runs third on the road at the moment. Graham up in 4th place on the road. Warren is the highest medium tyre runner, so he is on the prime seat at the moment in terms of strategy if he can get past these two. And the trick with this final corner is not to get too sideways if you're running an oversteery setup. Dirt Shark looks to have the pace. I think Graham's used quite a lot of ERS there. Oh, and it's a good move up the inside, but is he going to get a switch back? Not quite. So Warren's up to 4th place. Clay Racing has gone back down the order now. That has been resolved. Now is he going to use quite a bit of his ERS? He's going to be overtaking him. He's gone past. Now he just wants to try and pull away. Take it easy through this fast right-hander. And he's got a bit of a gap now, has Warren. So Dirt Shark is cooped up behind Brook at the moment. He's going to be looking for a way to get past here, surely. They keep it clean so far. No assists, remember. So it's going to be a tricky one to get through this 200% distance race. Out of the final corner, he's going to deploy his ERS. But not too much. He's not fancying it. Backed out of it and realised he had quite a bit of potential on the brakes, leaving him plenty of room. We're on lap 4 of 144. So I don't think there's a reason to risk it just yet. He must know he's got the pace, he's got plenty of chances to get past. And Simo is only in 12th at the moment, but he is fairly close to Emilio. So he's going to be looking to make that move, and here we go. Up the inside. Is he going to carry some corner speed? He's leaving a lot of room. Ooh, it's got a bit close there though. Now can he hold it round the outside? Is there grip there? Not really, but he's got some ERS to use. He wants to send it in on the brakes here. And he's got it done. Get a good exit. The only concerning thing here is that Brook will be so close. Oh, but he's got a bit of dirty air there. Is he going to be close enough to just say, it's nice to see you past me, but I'm coming straight back past? It looks like he is. He's going for the move with DRS up the inside. Oh, beautiful switchback from Dirt Shark there. Timed brilliantly, and he now takes the lead. Now, can he escape the kind of the 8/10th window that you need to be in to make an overtake up the main straight? DRS is quite powerful here. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be looking for a move. Not quite from Brook. Simon Pez is up to 9th place now. Championship leader. Now, the way that this format is going to be decided is we're going to take notes of the race times of everybody in this race and then add it to the next 100% race. It's looking like these guys have quite a bit more pace. I think Brook may have got a track limits warning there, or slowed down a lot to just about avoid it. But the DRS and the ERS is super powerful. But he didn't quite have enough there. So these two are running on sort of similar pace. They're gapping Warren at a considerable rate, who is going around on his medium tyres, just losing him time. The car's in front. I don't think he quite has the pace of Brook and Shark today at this stage of the race. But we are only on lap 6, we've got plenty more to go. Graham's sticking quite nicely with him though. He's getting in the DRS, letting that pull him along. Eisenberg is not too far away from them, so he might be looking to catch up towards Graham as his tyres begin to fade. Snaggletooth is still up in 6th place, so it's good to see our pole sitter still up there in the battles. He's now got Fred closing in. Simo Pez up in 8th place. I've been told he has his dad as an engineer. It's really almost the karting dad-son combination has transferred over to esports for him. From the back, Bullet Eater is up to 9th place at the moment. So that's been a good start from him. Both the Emilios are right next to each other. Now, Shark up front has gapped Brook by 2 seconds now. So he's either begun to put the hammer down, or Brook has made a little bit of a mistake. But he's still looking good for some solid points at the moment. Oh, Emilio's overshot the corner though. Oh, that close between him and Clay Racing there. Oh, but he's tapped the back of him. I think that's going to give Clay a bit of damage there. We've got a great seat here as these guys battle away in front of us, but Clay is through. He's now going to go after Bullet Eater 80. He defends a little bit there. Oh, but he's parked it on the apex. I think that's given Clay some more damage. Oh, they make contact again. And is this going to be 3 wide? It was for a very split second. Emilio thinks better of that move. Don't want to risk this on lap 8. Eisenberg has dropped behind Fred now, I believe. It's a move we've just seen on the tower. I've got the engine glitch, so we're going to switch over to Clay. Surely it's going to be at the inside here if he's got a chance. Not quite. I wonder if Bullet Eater's tyres are just a little bit second hand now. You can just see the understeer that Clay's getting from having that damage. I think he's lost both of his end plates. We saw 2 instances of contact between them. There is a slow Mercedes. I think this is Warren. He's been passed by Fred, but I'm not sure when or why. He did have a fair gap to him. We'll see. Fred is now the highest medium tyre runner. The softs are hanging on for a bit longer than I was expecting. I can't exactly remember what it was anticipating for the tyre life. I guess I'm used to doing more 50% races than 100% where the tyre wear is scaled. So maybe we're looking at something like lap 16 for these tyres, these soft tyres. We've got Lewis in the chat saying go Fred. We have a Fred supporter. We're pleased to know that Fred is the highest of the medium tyre runners and is looking good for a solid haul of points at the moment. Let's hope I haven't commentator cursed him. So the gaps are beginning to get a bit larger in places. Oh, we've got another Go Fred in chat. Fred seems to be a fan favourite, and he's doing well so far, which is great to see. Can Neil make it past Barks here? He's going to have to go for the outside. They leave each other room. Oh, but he gets a slow exit. Barks manages to take the place back. Yeah, no, this is the closest battle we've got on track. What are they going to be able to do with a bit of ERS deployment and a bit of DRS down the straight here? We will find out. Ooh, somebody's lost their front wing end plate. That might be the... That was the Williams of Emilio who's going for the pits. Yeah, that's got to be the end plate that is gone because they're replacing that front wing. And Fred is caught up to Graham now. So you guys will be pleased to see this potential move happen soon. Is Graham going to go for the pits? No, it's a bit too early, I think, for them. As they start lap 11 now. I believe Bullet Eater has just come out of the pits there, behind these guys. Bit of a little glitch there, but not to worry. Looks like Fred's going to be wanting to make the move on the straight with DRS. I think that's going to be his best chance. So standings wise, Fred is second in the standings. He's the one that's got to try and get to the front of this race to displace Simo Pez at the top of the championship. Oh, but is that a front wing end plate gone? Or did he get away with it? Getting a few connection issues, unfortunately, which is not what we like to see, but hopefully that's not too bad on the stream wise. It seems to be okay in software, but that is Fred up the inside. Parks up on the apex, and he is through up into third place now. He is going to chase after Brook and Shark. Now hopefully the gaps will readjust soon so we can see what kind of a deficit Fred has to make up for. We might find out when he goes over the sector line here. No, it still doesn't want to do it. So we don't know where he is in comparison to the top two. But I imagine it's not going to be a small gap. Yeah, we're getting a bit of lag issues here, unfortunately. We're going to have a watch of Simo, who is now looking to make the move on his teammate. I wonder if they're going to see team orders, or it's a case of every man or woman for yourself. And that looked very much like team orders to me. I think I saw a front wing end plate missing on Eisenberg's car as well. So that's going to give Simo the opportunity to go past and chase after Warren. And he's not going to have to chase very far to catch him up. He's not that far in front of him. So we will see what these guys have in store for a little battle. Oh, he's locked a brake there, but I don't know if that was the lag or not. It looks like Zabijaka has gone for the hard tyres, as well as Emilio, yeah. So we're going to see what's going on there. Well, Simo's a bit far back. He has drained quite a lot of his ERS. Whereas Warren's got about 57% left. In fact, we are going to bring up the telemetry so you guys can see a bit better how everybody is doing. We've got another Fred supporter in chat. Fred really is the fan favourite. And we're going to put the full track map on as well, so we can see exactly the gaps between people. So, yeah, there is quite a gap between Fred and the top two, unfortunately. And with Simo only in 6th, it's not going to be as big of a dent into his lead as you might potentially want. But again, as I'll be saying quite a few times, we are still only 15 laps through this 144 lap event. So I think everybody might just be taking it a bit cautious here. Now during the second race, it's going to be a bit tricky to get exact updates on where everybody is. So we are just going to have to try our best to calculate it on a spreadsheet to try and figure out roughly where everybody filters out into this race. So the plan is to take the delta from whoever wins this race and then see roughly where everybody's going to filter out. I feel like the gaps are going to grow quite large between the drivers throughout the race, which we don't actually want in terms of a entertainment point of view. We want the guys to be racing close to each other. But it tends to be the case in longer races that the drivers spread out more in more even cars, as more the faster drivers gravitate towards the front. And that was a bit close there for Simo, as Neil sets the fastest lap with a 14.3. We're going to be looking to see a lot more quicker laps than that towards the end of the race, but that is a solid lap with this level of fuel in the car at the moment. And when you're just trying to take it easy at the start. Oh, is he going around the outside here? Surely not. No, Warren has left him space, but not enough to make the move around the outside. Now, is there going to be some ERS usage here He's not going to risk it on the inside of the right-hander. This battle's going to rage on for a bit longer. He's got a good exit here though, so it could be over quite quickly if the DRS is powerful and he can just... it's hard to slot it around the outside, but Neil's setting another good fastest lap of a 14.3. Just needs to save his ERS here, I think. Get a good exit. He's a bit too cautious trying to set up the exit though. So he's not going to be as close as he wants to be. And he's actually let off the ERS fairly early, so I think he knows he wasn't quite close enough to make the move there. So he's going to wait another lap. The gaps we want to pay attention to is Fred is 13.5 seconds behind Brooke. That's the interval we need to pay attention to at the moment. But these guys have taken the soft tyres nicely into the race. And sooner or later we're going to see a little graphic come up from the game saying that the pit window is open for the soft tyre runners to come in and exchange them for a set of mediums. Fred's caught 4/10 since I had a look at that gap, so he is catching them quite nicely at the moment. So this is looking quite good for him. Now is Simo going to get a better exit here? Yes, he's got a much better exit this time. Warren spammed his ERS a bit to get out the corner. He's not going to have got far enough up the road here though. Just needs to be late on the brakes, but not too late. And that's it, cleanly done. Now we're going to see him unleash a lot of pace. Or is it going to be a case of Warren sticks with him? And we have a Aston Martin off at the start of the second sector. I believe that is Alan. I'm not really sure what's happened there. I think he might have just dropped it on the entry to that corner. Very easy mistake to make there. So I think, yeah, his tyre temps have gone through the roof here. When you have a big spin, the tyre temperature spikes to much higher than tyres should be. Yeah, he's on 100 degrees tyre temperatures, which is 120 on the rears. The optimum is between 80 and 90, I am led to believe. So that's a bit too hot. And then it just becomes very easy with no assists in this league to spin up the tyres. They'll also be very worn now, so I think he is going to come and exchange them for a set of new tyres. Now the gap between Fred and Brooke has come down by a further 10th. So for two tenths now. Okay, it's coming down quite a lot now. The times do fluctuate quite a lot. But the gap's coming down very nicely. Has something happened to Brooke here? Or is it just the way that the timings are working? I think it might just be the way that times are working, combined with the fact that Fred is catching. Maybe we've hit a bit of the crossover point here, where those medium tyres are going to start to have a bit more pace. Neither of the top two have decided to come into the pits yet though, so we will find out a bit further on into this race when they are going to come in. Now where are they going to come out? That's another important factor to have a look at. So if Dirt Shark pitted from the lead, it's quite likely he would definitely come out in third place, I reckon, because there's 20-second gap to Fred from the lead, and then there's a 33-second gap to 31-second gap to Graham in 4th place. I think Brooke could just about squeeze into that gap as well. So they are already a pit stop ahead of Simo. That's going to be music to Fred's ears, given that he's not far off a pit stop ahead. Actually, he's 15 seconds ahead at the moment. And that gap has come down a lot because Brooke has indeed come to the pits now for a set of medium tyres. And has rejoined comfortably in 3rd place as we predicted. Which is going to be good for his race. I think we'll give Barks a bit of coverage. We're going to go into the driver focus and bring up some information about him. He's currently 12th in the standings with 13 points, racing for Renault Alpine. He's the proud founder and admin of the league. So I think it's important we give him some coverage. Oh, but what you can't see is that Fred has just been given a 3-second time penalty. I believe that is for 3 track limit warnings. That's not what he needed. He's got quite a big gap to the car behind, so actually it's not going to make a huge amount of a difference, but you don't particularly want to be using up those track limits too early in the race. Now, can Barks do anything about clay racing? Has he got a bit more left in his tyres? They've gone the same distance. He might have less damage if Clay is still carrying that damage. It looks like he definitely is on the front right, and I believe the front left as well. So I think he's going to be quick on a straight line because he's going to have a lot less downforce. But when it gets to a corner, I think he might be a sitting duck on the brakes. Simo has got within the DRS of Graham, but still not made any inroads. And Dirt Shark has also pitted as well, and has come out 4 seconds in front of Fred. Now, the question is, where are these medium tyre runners going to filter out? And actually, what tyres are they going to go for? Because you can't... If you're going to take a set of soft tyres, you're probably going to want to take them twice. So, well, the strategy options are really soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, soft, in no particular order. But those are the 2... You're going to need either 2 sets of mediums and a set of softs, or 2 sets of softs and 1 set of medium, 1 set of medium tyres, depending on how you're anticipating your tyre wear is going to be managed through the race. Like, you might not have pushed too hard in the first stint, and the tyre numbers might not be looking so great on the graphic. You might be seeing quite a high percentage of wear, and you might be leaning towards using the soft, medium, medium strategy. It'll be interesting to see if these hard tyre runners are planning on taking these tyres for a 1-stop, but I think that might be a bit too much to ask. Zabi Jaka picks up the 3rd penalty of the race, unfortunately. Emilio EMS has left the session. That's another thing that you might not have been able to have seen at the bottom there. That's unfortunate for him. He's running in 15th place in the final points paying position. Hopefully he can get back into the race. Is he going to be close enough for this time? He's got 22% ERS, so he's not got a huge amount to play with, but Clay's got a very nice exit. Both have a tiny little lock-up into turn 1. Emilio, yeah, has got a 3-second time penalty. That's another one. It's not been a good start to the race for him, unfortunately, but there's still a lot of time to make it up. I think Dirt Shark might have this one under control at the moment. I'm not sure if we run safety cars in this or not, so if somebody knows, that would be great to just pop that in the chat. Because if there's no safety cars, then Dirt Shark is looking fairly comfortable for the win at the moment. But a safety car can easily throw anybody off their strategy, provided they're not laps in front of people. And it's easily going to make people's races easier or more difficult. But that's a bit of a mistake from Clay. Is Barks got enough? He's not got a lot of ERS, but Clay's derating down the whole straight. Now there's going to be an undercut opportunity here. Oh! That was such a unlucky piece of contact there. And luckily everybody manages to avoid Barks there. That was a tough bit of contact there. That was very unlucky. And that's going to certainly hinder Barks' race, unfortunately. It's right at the cutoff point as well between the medium and the soft tyres, where you begin to get the benefit of the medium tyres. And now he's going to have to exchange them for a new set if he plans on pitting. And Graham has gone for the pits and has come out in 7th place. He's going to come out in. So we will see how quickly he can dispatch of Eisenberg, Warren and Simo Pez to get back up to his position at the front of the field. And yeah, Barks is coming for the pit lane here. Unsurprising, he's going for a set of soft tyres. So I think he's going to be looking to make a couple more stops here. Front wing change feels like an eternity. Brook is catching up to Fred at the moment on his new tyres. So we're going to see what can he do. Can he get the move done? We've got a couple more people have stopped as well. Clay Racing has also stopped, and Alan's also stopped again recently for a new set of tyres. The gaps are beginning to open out now as we near quarter race distance, and we hit lap 36. We'll be a quarter of the way through this race. And I think the drivers are beginning to settle into their rhythm now. And sometimes that can be really good for a driver, where they settle into the rhythm and begin to just pump in the laps and just drive nice and smoothly, and then keep their tyres under control and the pace up, and it's good. And then sometimes you might be in that rhythm and then you just make a little slip up and then bang. Strategy is thrown on its head. Maybe if you lock a brake into a tight corner 10 and a bit too early, get on one of the auto spin curbs. All that, yeah, that works too. And that can just throw a driver off their rhythm. And then it becomes a bit more difficult to get back into the rhythm. And some updates from IndyCar. It seems that Felix Rosenqvist is okay after his crash in the IndyCar race at Detroit. After his throttle got stuck open, which is not good at a circuit like Detroit. If anybody has driven it, it's a very tight street circuit. And Clay Racing has popped in the fastest lap now on his new set of soft tyres. In fact, he's chasing after Emilio, so let's have a look at that. Is he going around the outside? Not quite, but he's going to get superior traction here, surely. This normally ends in tears. Ooh. And he realised it just at the last second there. That would have actually ended much worse for Emilio. Oh, but he's just got a time penalty. Yeah, for Emilio. Oh. Yep, the tyres aren't doing too great for Emilio there, I don't think. And Clay progresses. Now, Fred is still hanging on to his tyres quite nicely at the moment. We're expecting a general rule of thumb is that the medium tyres will do not far off double what these soft tyres will do. But you have to take off a few laps. So if these lot were pitting on about lap 22, ooh, Eisenberg has stopped. And he's just come out of the pits on a new set of hard tyres. So maybe the tyres were a little bit cold. And he's just dropped it there. Or he's had to try and avoid someone. I'm not too sure. We'll have to have a look at that after the race. But now Emilio is on the back of Eisenberg. And he's probably fancying this now that his hard tyres are, well, they're a bit worn, but at least they are in the window in terms of temperature, which is actually quite vital, specifically on the hard tyres. They aren't the easiest to get into the temperature window. They do take a while. You have to really almost attack the steering without attacking the steering, because then you'll scrub the tyres and wear them out very quickly. It's a very difficult technique to learn, and it takes a lot of time and effort and skill to master. It looks like Eisenberg has got his tyres in the window a bit more now. So if we're having a look back towards the championship standings, as it stands, the gap between Simo and Fred would only go down by 2 points, and that's not going to be enough to leave the championship open. It's going to mean that Simo is the champion at the end of the race if that's how we finish. If the deficit... So, in simple terms, Fred needs to outscore Simo by 8 points to keep it alive, so that he can then win. He needs to then win the last race and have Simo not score to win the championship. And speaking of Fred, him and Simo have both pitted, which is actually about right, given they both started on medium tyres. Now, actually, we're going to go and have a look. It's an AlphaTauri coming out of the pits, which will... No, it's just an AlphaTauri going around turn 1. That's my mistake. So, Fred's got a bit of traffic here. I think he's just hoping that the blue flags get displayed to the drivers nice and quickly. He will snag a bit of DRS, but importantly, look at this, he's got 100% ERS deployment to use. So he's clearly been saving. Now hopefully these lapped cars will be sensible and back at it. Yes, very sensible for Emilio, good driving in the Aston Martin. At Constructors' Championship wise, this is looking pretty solid for Mercedes. But Warren does still have to pit. And so does Julius Race. To filter out the order completely, I believe. And there we go, they finally let Fred go through. Now he's gone for the hard tyres. If he's taken his medium tyres that far in the race, he definitely has the potential to take these hard tyres to the end of the race. Now the reason I wasn't too keen to suggest that hard tyres might be the strategy is we see a racing point is sideways. Oh, and Alan's been disqualified. The last minute stand-in coming out of retirement, unfortunately, has not ended so well. And that's going to be no points for him. Although if you're going to get DNF'd or disqualified, it's much better to get DNF'd or disqualified in the first quarter of the race rather than, you know, having to do all of the work of the 2 combined races then to get disqualified or something towards the end. Now, Simo has passed Warren. I doubt he's probably made that very difficult, as that's not really his race. Although in the Constructors' battle, there is only 5 points separating Mercedes and Ferrari. So it'll be interesting to see where these guys will filter out. Now, if I'm Warren, I'm probably thinking, you know, we might risk something here and try and take these mediums to... you'd have to get them to lap 50 if you want to do the same that everybody else has been doing on those soft tyres. Neil's taken his to 23 laps, so, you know, lap 48, I'd say, at the earliest. And no, that's going to be a bit too much of a tall order, I think, for Warren. he's decided he's going to go for the 2-stop and take 2 sets of the soft tyres from here to the end, I think. And away he goes. Now, what's the traffic going to be like where he filters out? Quite nice, actually. He's in a nice gap, and the car in front of him is... Snaggletooth has retired from the session. What's happened there? Gonna have a look. He's gone straight on. And I see yellow flags, but I can't tell if that was a safety car or not, or if that was just a yellow flag light. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a safety car light, it was just a yellow flag, as that one is clear. Now, I've also seen that Fred has been setting a couple of fastest laps as well. He seems to be really enjoying the hard tyres, but not as much as Simo apparently. It was a full 30 seconds behind Fred now. We're going to have a look at Simo actually. He's certainly draining his ERS quite a bit. I think he realises that he might want to snag a point for the fastest lap. And try and get that when his tyres are early in the stint and nice and fresh. I'm not actually sure how the fastest lap is going to work. Whether that point is going to be given across to whoever's fastest in both, I think, or be counting both sessions, or just a point for each. I have a feeling it's going to be we'll give a point out to the person with the fastest lap out of both sessions. So maybe they'll look to pit at the end if they're not going to lose any sort of track position in the second race, in the second chapter of this race. Because if you do it in the first race, you don't know how costly the time of pitting for a set of soft tyres with 2 laps to go is going to be in the second race, because the second race hasn't happened at that point. But if you're at the end of the second race, you know what gap you have at the finish. If you've kind of done the maths. I think Emilio is still stuck behind Eisenberg, so we're going to have a look at this. See if we can watch. And Fred set another lap. Is Simo going to beat it? We'll find out in a while when he comes across the line. So yeah, the gaps are beginning to open up a bit now. Warren has passed his teammate rather predictably. I don't think he made that too difficult for him. So he's just going to carry on. So this is at the moment pretty much guaranteed championship for Simo if he can just stay where he is. Then Fred's not going to be able to make up the deficit, unfortunately. But that's not to worry. And we've got Mr. Brendan Lee in the chat, 2-time F1 Esports champion. Are you challenging people to a Connect 4 1v1 again, Brendan? I think that's definitely what he's doing. Oh yes, great idea. Yeah, I knew it. Now are we going to see Emilio make the move? Is he going to get close enough? He's got the ERS advantage. If Eisenberg's draining his ERS a tiny bit more, then he's saving, then he might be in trouble and might get past pretty sharpish here. But actually, if any of the drivers are watching the broadcast at the moment, oh, I knew it. If you're not a coward, you'll join at chat. Wow, Brendan, wow. Yeah. It's going to be interesting for those watching the stream, because they will get insight from me telling them how long Emilio has managed to go on these hard tyres if they're looking to make it to the end. Well, he's made it 30 laps, so you guys can afford to pit now and make it to the end of the race on the hard tyres. In fact, you could probably pit and take a mediums to the end, given certain people are out on 33 lap old mediums. No one is joining. That's so sad, Brendan. I can't believe no one would join your Connect 4 game. I mean, Connect 4 OP, am I right? Oh, we've got another Fred fan here. Update on Fred, the absolute fan favourite. He is currently in 3rd place on the road and can go to the end on these tyres. 3-time champ if you had Connect 4. Yeah, that's true, to be fair. Connect 4 AP, am I right? He's still a bit far back. What's the ERS situation like for Eisenberg? It's 6%. He looks to be keeping the gap stable and just deploying in the right places to keep Emilio out of the kind of the 6 to 7 tenth window you need to be in to actually make the overtake. So if you're between 8 tenths to a second back, you'll have the DRS, but you won't have the overspeed that goes with it. Yes, Brendan, this is race 1 at the moment. You'll be pleased to know the championship leaders are Ferrari, and the Constructors' Championship leaders are also Ferrari. So you'll be pleased to know that. And Simo Pez, in 4th place, at the moment has the potential to win the championship today. He just needs to so Fred Nolasco needs to outscore Simo by 8 points, which is either 8 places or 7 plus fastest lap, or better, to keep the championship alive. And Simo is currently 1 place behind him, but now we've got the move. And Eisenberg has been dropped to 11th. But Emilio is going to have to pit at some point and exchange those hard tyres, I think. I think he might be looking for a late stop for a set of soft tyres to bag the fastest lap. If those hard, I don't know if those hard tyres are quite going to last to the rest of the race. They've already done 32 laps, and we're looking at what, another 28 laps. So that's 50 laps on a set of hard. Yeah, that's 60 laps on a set of hard tyres. That's a big ask. But if you're nice and smooth, it may be possible. Fred's certainly getting on with it though, down to a 13.2 as the fuel begins to burn off. And Simo's lost a lot of time to Fred now. Has he had some kind of a moment? He seems to have dropped very far back on the intervals. That's a strange one. I'll have to have a look at that. I just noticed a yellow flag and a Ferrari a bit further back, so maybe he's had some kind of a spin or something that's lost in the time, but actually he's still got 9.5 seconds to Graham, so he's still got the gap. is actually Graham is being caught now by F1 Racing Warren, who we are going to swap to the driver information screen about as he makes this move. Ah, it looks easy with the DRS. And he makes the apex. A couple of short shifts and away he goes. So, fun fact, his dad was a pro basketball player. I did not know that. So, his dad is clearly LeBron James. Because he's like the only OP basketball player that I actually know. I'm not very good with basketball player names. But he is going to be chasing after Simo. I'm going to see if that gap extends. Starting to wonder if the medium tire runners are just taking it a bit easy, or if they are slowly getting into a bit of a degradation phase now. Or Fred really does just have quite a lot of pace at the moment. Either way, it's looking good for the fans of Fred Nolasco in chat, as he is reeling in the gap. And even if he doesn't make the pass, it's going to enable him to start quite high up for the next race. So we're under around to lap 46 now. Actually, Brendan, I'm surprised you haven't noticed that the lap counter is your number as well. You get 72 laps, and you get 2 of them to enjoy. Actually, what I am seeing is that Julius Race is up behind Neil now. Now, Neil did a very nice stint on his soft tyres and has thought, you know what, I can risk this to the end now. So he's going to be taking those from 43 to 72. That's a big ask, though. I like the confidence from him there. Engine sounds not on. Now they are. Oh, sorry for that little glitch there. Sometimes that happens, but not to worry. Maybe you can 1v1 Brandon in Connect 4. I think Brendan does just need somebody to 1v1 him so he can show somebody up in Connect 4. And Clay Racing has gone for the pits. He's going for a new set of soft tyres to the end here. That's going to be quite a few laps to do. So at the moment, it's looking fairly comfortable for the top, really the top 4 runners. Warren's going to have a tall order getting that to the end with his current set of tyres. And if Graham can stay close, then he's going to be looking good, as he has overcut the leaders by 5/6 laps. Actually, I figured out why the engine sounds weren't working, I think. We're going to put up the info for Julius Race. Actually, no, they should be working now. We'll see. Yeah, let me know if they're working okay now. He is nicknamed the Genius, and he is a 10-year F1 veteran. Nice. One for the experience, that's what you like to see. Ooh, the gaps begin to come down quite a fair bit between Fred and Brooke now. This race really settled down quite quickly at the front of the race. We're actually going to switch to Collet Racing, who is really on the back of Eisenberg now. I think he just tapped the back, but we don't see any front wing end plates. I don't know what kind of a damage he's got. We'll try and ascertain if he's got any damage. Let's drive with it. Yeah, I don't really know what's up with that, but hey ho. It looks like front wing is intact. There's a bit of contact there, or a bit of lag. It seems to go off when you cut the driver for it, yeah. So you're saying it cuts off here is where it cuts off, right? Because it's working on OBS. So is it? So the sound's on now, or the sound's off now? The sounds are off. Okay, that's weird because it's displaying them as on. I don't quite know what's up with that. We'll switch back to this then. That's something I'll have to figure out for next time, but that's not to worry. I've got more. Aha! Then what I need to do is do this. How about this? Are they on now? They're on now. Okay, I think I've got this one figured out now. So thank you. No. Okay, I don't know what's up with that. So we're just going to we're gonna leave that for now, and we'll just fix that for the next stream. Because ABS is just deciding to work now. Somebody has had an incident. That is Julius Race. Has spun coming on to the pit straight. And it's got absolutely no front wing at all. There goes the rest of it. What sort of tyre? He's going softs to the end. Yeah, that makes sense. I think anybody who pits now will want to go onto the soft tyres until the end of the race. Seems to be the strategy. As we approach halfway through this 200% endurance race. Morty Perret has a 5-second penalty for speeding on the pit lane. Just a bit too over-ambitious on the entry there. Snatched a break. And this is an interesting one. Brooke has pitted for a set of soft tyres. That's actually about what we would expect. He's wanting to pit early enough that he can get the benefit from the tyres, but late enough so he doesn't have to push. Doesn't have to tyre save. He can push all the way to the end of the race flat out. So we really can use up the tyres. Importantly, it's actually gifted Fred another place on the grid ahead of Simo. as he will be able to make it to the end of the race on those hard tyres quite comfortably. Going to see if Eisenberg can pass Zabi Jacket for 9th place, as they are quite close together now, and he does have a new set of tyres compared to Zabi's old hard tyres, which must be feeling pretty second-hand after 37 laps. And Shark has responded as well to Brooke pitting. In fact, has come out right behind Fred. So we're going to see what kind of pace he has. And I don't think Fred can defend from this. The gap's going to be quite close. The gap's 7/10 already. I think Fred knows he really needs to sort of hold on to this place, but also he's still got a good chance in the next race if he can just cling on to P2, as I think the real race is going to be to keep Brooke behind, because I think this is going to have a fairly swift conclusion, unfortunately, when it comes to the DRS on the main straight, purely because of the tyre delta. 20 lap hard tyres is considerably slower than brand new soft tyres. I think it would take a miracle for him to keep him behind from here. But he is second in the championship, so he must have had lots of impressive drives. Ooh, but Brooks picked up a time penalty. That's going to even it out between Fred and him if he does arrive on the scene with Fred towards the end of the race. He's actually not been catching him too much. I think Fred might have secured P1 or P2 here. He's got the ERS to defend with. He's defended quite early to avoid the slipstream, and actually seems to be running a lot more lower downforce than Dirt Shark, as that didn't really go down by as much as I was expecting it to. Now, if he wants to keep the place, he's really going to have to keep him back for the next 3 or 4 laps to try and keep him, get him out of, well, get Dirt Shark to use up the optimum grip from his tyres. But again, all of this is irrelevant if Dirt Shark doesn't get a time penalty. Because if he does get a time penalty, then it's game on. But if he doesn't, then Fred's going to be losing out on this place anyway, unfortunately. So let's see. Can he force Dirt Shark into a mistake by making him push too hard to get this lead? I think Dirt Shark's just taking his time here. I think he knows the tyre advantage is huge, and knows that Fred is going to have his work cut out trying to get past him. But again, we're not at half distance, so even if Fred manages to put it up into only just second place, he's going to be in prime position for the next race, as he'll be starting from P2 on the grid, depending on what sort of reverse we're going for, whether it's reverse based on the results or based on the championship again. So we will see. There's a laps car just have to see whether this is going to make a difference or not. Ah, Bullet Eater's retired from the session. Looks like he's had a collision at the start of the second sector. Clay Racing's got a time penalty. Oh, that's a bit ambitious. That's very ambitious. And Fred just says, nah, you're right, thanks. Not gonna let you pass that easily. Oh, but he's got a mega exit here. You can't really make a pass here, but you can certainly put people under pressure. And he is certainly doing so, but Fred doesn't appear to be cracking. He seems to know exactly where he wants to put his car on the racetrack at the moment. And is doing so very nicely. And I've just cursed him. They're going side by side. And Fred's going to have to give it up, I think. It's still a whole second race. And if Fred has got this much pace on the hard tyres, well, who knows what's going to happen into turn one. I think he knows this is his chance. Oh, and he's absolutely going for it. He's got to get an undercut. Ah, he just not quite there on the traction. Those tyres, the tyre disadvantages, just not giving him a lot of help there. What might help him out here is there is a lapped car. Conveniently, it is Fred's teammate in the Alpine Renault, but it is Barks. I'm not sure he's going to make it too difficult for Dirt Shark to get past. Ever the fair racer. I think he's just going to let him go, and in fact he's going to give Dirt Shark DRS just to compound it. And then it's done. He's not going to have enough to catch up on this straight, unfortunately. But it looks like he is, at the moment, going to be able to hold on to that second place ahead of Brook with a fairly respectable time gap to Dirt Shark by the end of the race. He just needs to not get too excited with the track limits, and he's on for a solid finishing position here. Simo's had a fairly quiet race at the moment. Still about the same gap to Fred. Maybe a little bit quicker. So we'll see what he can do. Dirt Shark sets another fastest lap. He's broken the DRS to Fred now. I'm afraid that might be a done deal. But Clay Racing on the back of Emilio. He's got a new set of tyres, so he's going to be looking to do what he can to make the overtaking manoeuvre. But you don't want to take that curb on the inside. He's been passed by Zabajaka, who's also on a new set of tyres. He's gone for the inside. That's going to be a comfortable move for Clay Racing. Fred's kept the gap at 1.3 this lap though. Just done a nice job of sticking with Dirt Shark, which is actually doing wonders for him and keeping ahead of Brooke and keeping that gap quite high as well to avoid the penalty. Morty Perez has DNF from 14th place. I think he might have just lost it on the curb on the exit of turn 1 and then spun into the wall. And I think we can actually go on board with him now. He's retired. But I think we're about to see if this... Yeah, that's what's happened. I think he might have actually got caught on the grass, maybe. Very unlucky. What's the inside? Not quite. Is that going to be a front wing loss there? I think it might have been a bit of lag. He's going to go around the outside. Not quite. He's changing the brake bias by the looks of it. I'm hearing contact, but I'm not seeing any cars. That's a bit of an odd one. Zabijaka has got a penalty for multiple warnings. That's going to make Clay's racing his life a bit easier. Now what can he do about Emilio? He's going to have 10 more laps at the line. Oh, and Alfa Romeo has had an issue. Is that Brooke? I think it might have been, yes. He's lost about 4.3 seconds to Fred. So I think he's had a bit of an issue there, unfortunately. Yeah, Fred's definitely not got the pace in those tyres to keep up with Dirt Shark. But again, this race from Fred was more about getting from far down in the field towards the front. And the next race is really where this is going to make the difference for him. He's going to be able to fight Dirt Shark for the win, hopefully. If I was putting bets on, I think Fred would be my bet, but that'll be a commentator's curse and a half. And I have a habit of ruining people's chances by saying they'll do well. So I'm not going to say that Fred is going to win the part 2 of the race. We're going to wait for the end of the race to see what happens. Clay's Racing's dropping back a little bit now into the clutches of Zabijaka. I think he'll be having a little bit of a look now, maybe. Thinking, yeah, we've got a chance here. Actually, Clay's had a very good first sector and has pulled the gap back towards Emilio. And Alan's left the session. He unfortunately got disqualified whilst trying to recover from an incident. He was trying to drive back onto the racing track and the game said no. And this is going to put Zabijaka right in the back of Clay's Racing. This is going to be up the inside very easily. There's nothing you can do there. Oh, but he's going to try and break around the outside. That's ambitious. That's what we like to see, though. We like to see ambitious moves. As long as you are respectful of those you are racing. In fact, just behind this battle are the leading two of Fred and Dirt Shark. Fred really is doing a great job of keeping with him at the moment, which will be really promising for Fred when he's actually got some new tyres in a straight fight at the front. I think Brooks' challenge is just fading a little bit now. I think he's just consolidating this third place. He's got a big gap back to Simo and a pretty insurmountable gap to Fred, unless he starts setting the world alight with lap times. I think he's just going to consolidate this third place, wait it out, and then go for it in the next race. They're all a bit too far back from each other to make a move down the straight though, unfortunately. And there you can see Dirt Shark in the background while we continue to watch this battle. And what's the ERS looking like? So Zabi is the only one with any kind of ERS battery left at the moment. That's where you can see the red light flashing on Emilio's car. That's when the battery is called derating, which is pretty much just a way of saying it's charging, which means you're losing time while the battery is harvesting. And that's how you know that people are low on their battery, because you can see the light flashing. And in the more competitive esport races, where half a tenth makes the difference, you'll have people spotting on the people who stream to find out their battery usage and looking for the lights, as Fred sets the fastest lap on old tyres, and Zabi Jack has been shown the door by Emilio. Very fair, but he said, you know what, if you're going to try and come past me, you're going to have to do it the hard way. I'm not just going to let you go straight through. And it's derating again because he's blitzed his ERS to try and stay ahead on the straight. He must be getting the blue flags from Dirt Shark, surely. Sorry about the lag that we seem to be experiencing. Hopefully that's all good now. If he doesn't get past into this braking zone, oh, this is going to be tight now. Oh, this is not where you want to be if you're Dirt Shark. Okay, I'm fairly sure there's been some lag there. I think Zabi Jacka did lag out there a bit, and unfortunately got a penalty for ignoring blue flags. But there we see Fred getting past the AI-controlled Zabi Jacka now. And Emilio gets very sensibly out the way. He may have seen that Zabi is disconnected. I think so. You know what? The AI drives around at 42%. He got kicked out of the session. That's very unfortunate. Let me just see if I can invite you back to the session. You might have to send me a friend request. It's Lewis Edwards 78. It's like my Twitter bio. Let me try and quickly add you. I'm going to quickly go back to the race and see if anything's going on here that we've missed. Doesn't appear like we're missing anything at the moment, so let me quickly try and send a friend request to you. Except I've had a PlayStation for like a week, so bear with me while I try and figure this out. Aha, friend request received. There we go. Yes, I want to add friends. Now I think I need to go back to the game, invite friends. And then I need to send you an invite and then confirm. Right, there we go. There we go. You should have been invited now. Let me know if that works. This one back to the game. Dirt Shark has set the fastest lap. Fred has been held up somewhere a little bit. No problem. I hope you get back into the race. I think I saw you get back in just there. And I hope... Yeah, this looks like an actual driver driving. So, means you're back in the session. Do you know what? Huge shout out to Racing Warren, who is taking those soft tyres for 31 laps at the moment. They must be just cooked and done. The tyre temps are quite high, but nothing to worry about. In real life, you'd get more worried if the tyre temperatures are going lower at this point. Because normally, you struggle to keep the heat in the tyres when they wear out. And then a combination of that plus the wear causes the delaminations that we saw in Silverstone. Not entirely sure what caused the ones in Baku yet. Pirelli have said they'll investigate, so we'll find out. But in F1, it seems to be simulated a random time between 70% wear and 100% wear will give a puncture. But they don't seem to be consistently at a certain point. It's just a random number between those two. Obviously, unless you smash a wall or something, especially at Monaco, that's a bit of a problem. Or if you run over some debris. So hopefully Warren can make it to the end without a puncture. It'd be good to see him make it to the end after a solid stint at the moment. The gaps really have begun to open out at the moment though. I see Zawijak has actually gone and pitted for a new set of medium tyres, so you might be able to pinch fastest lap on those tyres. And actually, somebody who's been going quietly about their race is Neil. They haven't really given him much broadcasting coverage through the race, but he's actually been doing a very solid job to get up to 6th place. And is now staring at the back of 5th place. As we're actually on the final lap now. So we are going to ride with Dirt Shark. We'll have a look to see if that gap comes down between Neil and Warren. The gap is coming down quite a bit, and they're about to go onto the main straight now. This might actually be a move, so we are going to quickly switch back to this. Warren's got no ERS, but neither's Neil. These guys are just starting the last lap now. Is he going to think, you know what, there's a whole rest of the race to go? We're going to ride with Dirt Shark, who's going to start part 2 on pole position. He has won the race. Part 1. He's halfway there. Fred comes home in a convincing P2. He looks like the favourite to take home the win in the second half, as you don't have to start the next race on 39 lap old hard tyres. He can exchange those for whatever he feels is going to benefit him the most. as we see Brooke come across in third place. Simo Pez. We're seeing these two going right at it, side by side. Is Neil going to have it? Yes, he is. Has Warren got anything to try and get back past with? Has he got any kind of battery deployment left? Neil's used all of his. Is the gap? The line's going to come soon enough for him. And he's going to come across in 5th place. Warren comes home in 6th. And Graham is going to be last one to cross the line in 7th place. That's where he's going to start. And that concludes part 1. Driver of the day by the game is going to Fred. I've the trophy grabbed the popcorn. And we're now going to wait to have a look at the provisional results. And I'm going to try and get these down as quickly as I can. As we see guys celebrating on the podium. Now I've got to try and get the damn. These are like laps down. I don't know how we'd count 1 lap. So we're going to have a look at that. So 2 laps goes down to Amelia in 14th. And then we need to have a look. The others didn't finish, so it doesn't matter. And we had 18 drivers. So hopefully this is going to enable me to have a rough guesstimate as to where everybody's going to filter out. So we're going to call 1 lap 1 minute 15. So that'll be 75 seconds off the lead. They would be if they were a lap down. I'm doing this based on the delta from whoever is in first. So we're going to have a look at the standings now to see where this is all going to pan out. We have got Simo is there in first place. It's looking good for the championship for him. We are just waiting to see what Fred can do. I'm just adding up the times now. Okay, so we've got a rough delta for everybody on race 1. And we're just going to have a wait to see what everybody is doing for starting the next part of the race. I'm also not too sure if the people who did not finish the first race are allowed to do the next part of the race. We will we'll have to see about that. So hopefully we are going to get some kind of running soon. We're actually going to have a look at the prizes that everybody wins. This is for the end of the championship, I believe, and that is some nice prize money that is given out there. And there's some brilliant incentive to the drivers. But they all race very cleanly, which is very nice to see. So after this one, we don't know. It's going to be a driver's poll for next weekend's race. We're going to find out. In fact, I'm going to have a look through the Discord server and see if I can find what they're polling for round 10. Okay, so at the moment, the polls suggest that the race is going to be at Monza. It's going to be a 100% race with 18 minutes of qualifying, no safety car, full damage, and a dry race. Seems to be the indication that we are getting from the polls at the moment. So now we wait to find out when the second part of this race is going to be started. Hopefully it's going to be started quite soon. We're going to see what is going on. Barks says we are going to begin in a minute, which is good. We're not going to keep people waiting in suspense. I think they might be doing the custom grid. Actually, can I have a look at this? If I go out of spectator mode, can I see the grid? I can't see the grid, unfortunately, but that's not to worry. So we're just going to wait while that all gets itself sorted out. In fact, let's have a look at the previous round. This is how it ended. It was a quadruple 25% race where the slowest few drivers were eliminated. But this is how it ended after we had Barks Photoshop all of the results together. This is roughly how it ended. And hopefully we can have a look at this and we can see that it didn't quite work out as well for Fred in the final part of that, but it worked out quite nicely for Simo, who definitely had a pretty big pace advantage in that race. So hopefully we can ascertain exactly what the splits were for the next race. Hopefully. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it is going to let me watch the replay, which is good. Because now I can ascertain exactly the intervals between drivers just as they crossed the line. We just have to wait for the last driver to come across the line. In fact, that can be that right. Okay. So now we're just going to have to do a bit of quick maths because I realized we could get the intervals a bit better. But we're going to have to do some Excel logic. And I will let you guys know when we get an update from the drivers and when we're going to be getting underway for the next round. Next part of this round. hopefully it's going to be quite soon. I've got it up on my other monitors, so we'll see fairly shortly when we're going to be getting underway. So I think a couple of people are beginning to ready up now. So it looks like we are going to get underway fairly shortly. I think we're just finalizing the custom grid to make sure we get everybody in the right place for the next race. So it's looking good for Fred though. It would appear he's got a lot of pace in that Alpine Renault, but it's also looking good for Simo Pez. Hopefully, very shortly, we are going to find out whether Simo can take the crown or whether Fred can drag it to the finale. I hope he can, so that we can have a proper finale race with the championship on the line. I'm just going through the intervals at the moment so I can try and give people an indication of where everyone is going to finish, or where everybody is. Still not seeing more people ready up, unfortunately. Might have to keep you guys waiting a little bit more, unfortunately, but not to worry. We will get some racing very shortly. A couple more people are beginning to ready up now. This is looking good. I'm going to get underway. Now, we F1 fans are no stranger to delayed races, and 10 years ago to the day, we had the most delayed of them all, the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. The 4 hours and 4 minutes of Montreal, Canada. What an incredible race that was. After 4 hours of racing, it was decided on the last lap when robotic driving Sebastian Vettel finally made his first mistake, and it enabled the great Jensen Button to take home the win after making 6 pit stops, a 2-hour red flag period, crashing with Hamilton, Alonso, going on to Inters, it didn't work, safety cars left, right and centre. It was a crazy race, and arguably one of the greatest in Formula One history. I would have to say it is one of my personal favourites, but that is in the past. In the present, we still have 72 laps of Zandvoort still to go to find out who is going to be victorious in this 200% endurance race. We are just waiting for the others to ready up now. And I'm going to quickly polish off getting through these deltas. So that then we can have a guesstimate as to where everybody is going to filter out. So we're just waiting for people to ready up, and then we are going to get underway for the second half of this race. We are waiting for the next 23 seconds, and then we're going to be underway. Now, what can these guys do? We are going to find out very shortly, as I believe we're going to line up for another formation lap. And there it is, as I predicted, the finishers of the first part will line up in order for the second part. It's going to be Dirt Shark who leads them away. And we are once again going to have a look at the tyres. And yeah, it's fairly as expected. The faster drivers always tend to want the medium tyres, or rather the prime compound of tyre, whatever that may be, to get that out of the way at the start and then attack. But maybe these guys are looking for the same medium hard strategy as before in the first race, and they just don't want to get absolutely swarmed at the start, because those hard tyres do really take their time to heat up. Now I'm going to put the gaps to the leader so we can try and quickly ascertain where everybody's doing. Eisenberg has joined. Yeah, I think something might have gone on with his connection there. I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, I think something's not quite right with the connection there, unfortunately. Okay, so I've got the Delta to the fastest driver. From the previous race, which was Dirt Shark, who won that one. So we're going to look to compare to where he is to figure it out. Got support for Neil in chat. And here we go. Here come the lights. And it's 5 lights. And away we go. Oh, it's a good launch from Fred. He's going to be alongside immediately into turn 1. Takes it quite easy. Brooke runs wide, trying to get around the outside. Now is Fred going to slot into second? Yes, he is. Is Brooke going to look at the inside here? No, Fred slams the door on him. So it's Dirt Shark that leads. from Fred and Brooke. Simo's been overtaken by Neil, so he's down to 6th place at the moment. Oh, that's a bit wide from Dirt Shark though. And it says Barks is winning. I mean, yeah, I don't know what bias that's coming up with, but he's paid off the game. So now we have got Fred hounding Dirt. And we've got Brooke in 3rd. He has gone for the soft tyres, and he did have quite a lot of pace, so he's going to be looking to make some moves here at the start. He's going to want the track position. But I think Fred fancies this. I think he knows the sooner he gets past Dirt Shark, he can just disappear off up the road if he's got more pace. But he's looking at it in turn 1. In fact, Neil was looking for the outside there on Brooke. He had a very nice run. He might have used quite a lot of ERS to get up there. But Fred's really hounding Shark now. And again, it seems to be that sort of a strategy, but now, given we've watched part 1, we know sort of how this is going to play out. So we're going to try and get some deltas in for you. So Dirt Shark is still leading. And Fred is still 2nd. Brooke is still 3rd. Simo might not be 4th now. Actually, yes he will, because the gap between the other two was quite high. So we're getting a quick idea of where the deltas are looking. And hopefully we'll be able to keep this one fairly up to date. So at the moment it still remains unchanged at the front, and in fact there's not a huge amount of differences in terms of position. In fact the only real change is that Clay Racing has fallen behind Zabby Jack at the moment, but we've pretty much only just got the field spread now. So Fred is setting the fastest lap at the moment, and he is 5 tenths back. Neil is up to 3rd place, but he's got 1.5 seconds to find from somewhere. In fact, Brooke is looking more potentially towards Simo than he is towards Neil, but having said that, he's really gone blitz the ERS. He doesn't want to just give up that position. He's hungry for some good points in the championship. But we're now looking at a tough race for these drivers. They're already quite worn out from the previous race. They know it's going to be a tricky one. At the same time, they know that it's tricky for everybody, and they've got to just make the best of what they can do. And we're seeing that Fred is right up behind now. Just needs to spot his braking point, but get a good exit. And the Renault Alpine takes position 1 away from Dirt Shark. And now Fred just wants to escape the DRS as quickly as possible. I think he might be thinking about using quite a lot of that ERS deployment that he's got to try and just edge away now. As we see, Simo has overtaken Brooke now. So that pace in the first race from Brooke slowly fading now, unfortunately. Ooh, that's a lock-up from Neil. He's kept it on the track. He's still going strong. Down the final corner. And Dirt's going to be straight back past him by the looks of it. Fred sets another fastest lap. The Dirt's right with him. Surely Fred's just going to say no thank you. Yeah. There wasn't really a gap there. But these two once again are beginning to just pull on the rest of the field now. But Simo is showing a lot more pace than he did in the previous race. I think that was due to him being a bit further down the order in terms of seconds. We never really saw how much he was gaining or losing. Maybe he's just tweaked a couple of things in the setup that's going to enable him to get further up the order. These two are very closely matched at the moment. And the final corner. He's pretty close, the gap's 4/10. But I think he just knows there's still a long way left to go. So it's best not to overdo yourself too early. And it looks like he's managed to get away with that, but Simo is right on the back of Neil now. Is he going to be looking for the inside here? No, it's just not the overspeed. You need to be a huge amount quicker than a car in front to make a pass in this section. But now he's reaching the sort of section where you can make some good overtakes. They're taking very different lines to them. Neil likes to take the wider line on the exit, whereas Simo tries to straighten the car up. Looks like Neil's line was a bit quicker. Maybe Simo will have learnt that on this lap and will apply that on the next lap. We will find out. The gap's just beginning to open up a little bit now. I think Fred is slowly going to edge away now. If he can break DRS, then that's going to be huge for his race. That's really going to give him such a benefit. Now here comes Simo. He's just not got this extra speed. And he's got a championship to worry about. You don't want to be sending a move here if you don't have to. When you can just get alongside with a little mistake like that. Ah, no, they both take the same line that time. Oh, Emilio's got a penalty for track limits. Not how you want to start the race, unfortunately. I wonder if he's got enough ERS to make the pass here. It looks like he has. How's his bravery on the brakes? He's pretty brave, but he sent it on the exit really nicely. And that's the move done. Simo's up to third. We're going to try and do our standings. But the only thing to note is that Simo has fallen away in terms of time from those behind, from those in front, whilst having to make these moves. But has that cost him? It's cost him a chance at the win. He really needs to be in first. He wants to claw back the gap because he did finish so far off the lead in part one. It's going to be difficult for him to claw it back, which is the one real saving grace for the front two. However, for Fred, he's going to need Simo to have quite big issues if his championship is to stay alive. So we're going to have a look at some more deltas and just plug them in a little bit. The gaps are starting to appear now. So yeah, it's fairly close in the midfield sort of runners at the moment. So the order for the overall races, it's still Dirt Shark on Fred. Now, is Brooke actually still there or thereabouts? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's comfortably in third place still. And then Simo is fourth. Neil is fifth. Warren is sixth. Graham is seventh. Julius is eighth. Emilio, yeah, is ninth, despite the penalty. We'll see that added at the end of the race. Then Zabi is next. Then, oh no, sorry, Barks is ahead of Emilio. Then Emilio. Then Zabi. Then Clay, and then Emilio EMS. So we will see in this race how that all pans out. The gap up front is nothing. They really are sticking with each other. But interesting to note that Simo has closed in a little. Whoa! That was a move from absolutely nowhere. And I think Brooks noticed he's done something a bit sketchy there. I don't think he meant at all to hit Neil there, but I think he realised that it wasn't the best move, so he's stopped to let him back through. Doesn't want to risk a penalty or anything. As in the championship order, I think he may have... We'll still have a look where he is now, actually, in the championship order. Brooke is in 8th place, and he's going to gain an Eisenberg, definitely. And he is also going to gain on Deep Over in the McLaren. Oh, but not if it's the gravel like that. Nearly had the move done, but Fred has opened up the gap for this lap. I think they've passed an Aston Martin of Emilio, yeah. Yeah, Brooks not going to risk it this time round. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2-4, and Aston Martin, that is Emilio. As we can see there, his new hard tyres are proving a bit problematic. Yeah, Brook is, he's 10 points behind Deepover, but he's only 5 points behind Eisenberg. So he's, actually, if the points go down to 15th, I believe he is going to be level with Deepover. And to clarify, yes, we are giving point for fastest lap, I noticed, because Simon went up 11, which is taking the win and won fastest lap. Now, who's going to be scoring some wonderful points that maybe hasn't scored any yet? Emilio EMS is going to get off the board, provided he finishes the race. So that'd be nice for him to get off the board. And he's, I believe, the only one who hasn't yet got a point, who's not brand new to the league. So, at the moment, who have we got in the race? So, we've got Fred, who's obviously second. We've got Dirt Shark, who is third. We've got Simon, who is first. We've got Neil, who is 14th in the championship. So he's going to be enjoying the points of 4th place, which will give him a solid 12 points, I believe, which will put him up from 10 all the way up to 22, which will put him in 8th place in the championship from 14th. So he gains a solid amount of 6 places that he might not if those around him score points. For example, in 8th place is Brooke, who's looking to score more points, and Zambi Jacka, who's also looking to score points. So it's all going to play out in the end, but now Fred has broken the DRS and has begun to pump the laps in a little bit now. He's beginning to stretch his legs away from Dirt and Simo. And the 3 of them are really in a class of their own at the moment. They're beginning to pull away quite rapidly from the cars behind. Is there a move on here? I don't think there is. It's just one of those moves where you can just sense there's a chance, but you always end up backing out of those, especially in bigger races like this. You just want to not risk too much this early on, because we are now at a quarter of the way through this race, I believe. Well, not quite. We're almost at quarter race distance through this part of the race. So that'll be 5/8 of the way through the race. And we hit lap 18 of 72. And there goes the move. It's still there though. Neil has held it around the outside. Oh, that was ambitious from Neil. And it's a good move to keep the place. So it appears like Fred has the outright pace just over Dirt Shark, and then Simo is losing touch with them ever so slightly now. But I don't think that's too much to worry about for him. He's going to clinch the title if he does this quite comfortably, to be honest. So he's not going to be that worried about it, I don't think. As this battle rages on. Now this is where you're close enough to try and something, but it's just not the potential really for a move in that corner, unless you really go for it. That's a corner to watch out for track limits. We've got a yellow in sector 1. That is it is the Aston Martin of Emilio. Yeah, unfortunately, not quite the race that he would have hoped for. You've got to remember this is a very difficult race for all involved. Ooh. Fred has got a lot more ERS to use. Oh, and it's beginning to spin up the tyres a little bit now. I just wonder if he's gotten a little bit hot, but actually Fred's tyre temps are a little bit higher. I'd say with Dirt, he tends to suffer a bit more from understeer at high speeds. He seems to lose most of the time in the high speed corners, so I wonder if he's running low downforce or just not running as much front aero as maybe would have been better if he'd run a click or so more front aero. Emilio has retired from the session, and that's in the pit lane. I think he has quit the session and then retired, so his car won't go back out onto the track, as it's Fred that leads. And still these two haven't... Oh, what a move! Can he make it stick? Not quite. He's still stuck behind, and he hasn't sent it halfway up the inside. Try and keep alongside. This battle is raging on. Neil's got a lot more ERS to defend with. Brooks on absolutely none going into that corner. Ah, watch out, that's where you get the track limit warnings. Zabby Jacker has had 3 too many. In fact, he has just been passed by Clay Racing as well. So Simo's had a good lap or so, but he has drained the battery. I wonder if this might be the fastest lap. Yeah, I think he's sensing that the DRS to Dirt Shark is quite close now. And he wants to be looking at undercut range. And he's not far off, but he really has drained the battery quite a lot there. So Zabby Jacker comes to the pits. We are going to see people boxing for a set of new tyres. They've been on the softs now. In fact, Julius, Barks, and Zabby Jacker and Emilio have all gone for a new set of tyres. I think they've all effectively responded to each other or all just decided at the same time that no thank you, I would like to keep my tyres for no more and exchange them for a new set. Simo is beginning to close this gap now. He's really putting the hammer down. Brooks taking the plunge for a new set. What's it that he's going for? He's going for medium tyres by the looks of it. So he's going to be hoping to maybe get some sort of an undercut on Neil. I think that's definitely what he's doing here. So I would expect Neil to be in this lap. The leaders are really closing up now. I wonder if Fred's saving or he's just spent a little bit more of the tyres. Or maybe Dirt was saving and now he's planning on using up those tyres as he sees Simo try to close it to the back of him. I just wonder, they're not going to go for pits this early. A new set of tyres there, it's just not going to happen. Oh, that's deep from Simo. He's actually carried fairly good speed through the corner. So we are going to see these guys take the tyres. We saw nearly 40 laps, 35, 40 laps on some people's medium tyres. They're going to have to take the tyres a lot longer than that if they want to use the soft tyres to the end. But I think they're going to go for a set of hard tyres around half race distance, as Fred did exactly last race. I think Simo's definitely, he's either pushing a whole lot harder or he's just found some kind of a rhythm now. Zabijaka has taken that fastest lap away from Simo now. But to win the race, Simo is going to have to put in a monster of a performance from here. He's going around the outside, that's a good way to start, but he's going to get hung out to dry there. Oh, but Dirt's been so cautious and just let him go. So that's going to be him up to second place. Now we're going to see, is he able to pull away or is he going to start falling backwards? Well, on the subject of endurance, we're also seeing that Alpine have taken the pole position in the World Endurance at Portimao today in real life racing news, and there is an Alpine, a Renault Alpine, winning at the moment in this race today. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Is that for Zabijaka? Yes, it is. That is unfortunate for him. Not what you like to see. Now, Simo's not quite closed the gap up anymore. But actually, Brooke did come out in front of Neil. So he finally made that move work. Actually, I've just read that former F1 driver Marcus Ericsson has won the Detroit Grand Prix. Nice. GG. So now we see them cooped up behind Warren. Trying to find out if we can find an update on Felix Rosenquist, but it just says that he's awake and alert after his crash, and it doesn't seem to be anything serious, so that's always good. We're watching these guys go at it, and Simon hasn't really made any inroads on Fred. Nobody's really quite managed to make up much ground or make a pass here, but now Brooks going for it. He's certainly got the tyre advantage, and that Alfa Romeo is good in the high-speed corners. Yeah, he's got two houses right behind him though. Wonder if there's going to be team orders there when Neil says basically, Clay, stay behind, and they've come together immediately. Unfortunately, no team orders there, but Brooke round the outside. Oh, Warren didn't leave him a lot of space there. And firmly said, no thank you. Now, he's going too far back. He tried to send it in, but you can't send it in from that far back, Brooke. Oh, but now he's got an exit here. It's going to be a rolling roadblock there, and a beautiful defending from Warren. He's not giving him a chance to even get a nose alongside. He's parking his car really nicely. It would be really annoying to try and pass him at this point. There's a yellow behind, but I don't see what it's for. I think Zabi Jackal is just getting out of the way of the leading group, but it's actually put Dirk right on the back of Simon. Now, how about this time? Yeah, that's more like it. Now, Brooks just got to run away at this point because the detection line for DRS is there. We've just gone past it. But the activation line, oh, he's got no ERS. This is going to be close. I think he's going to be repassed immediately here. But he's given up the inside. Is he looking for a switchback? Warren's kind of squeezed him a bit there. I think Emilio EMS has had a bit of an issue there as well. Just going to try again. I'd be looking at the inside here. They both have a little of a lock-up. How about switch back underneath him here? No. He's not got the confidence to just send it in many other places other than turn 1. And this corner here. Warren's kind of left him no space and he's going to be round. If I was Warren, I'd be looking to hand that place back to Brooke. That was a bit of, I'm going to push you off the road here. And you've got to sort yourself out. But Warren actually goes to the pits anyway. So after all that, he's decided to just go in the pits anyway because he was out of sync. And just left Brooke on his way. Simo's got the lead down to under a second now. But he has blitzed his ERS. So this is going to be a tricky one. If I was Simo, I'd be having a debate in my head about whether you really want to make the overtake this race. I mean, he's got a comfortable championship if he just stays clear of all the cars here and just jumps into second place. He's going to be gifted that championship and with the prize money, but at the same time, as a racing driver, he's going to want to win in style, as every champion does. So we're going to see what they can do. Well, Fred is protecting from the undercut. That's what's happening now. He reckons with a new set of tyres he can do better than whatever Simo can do on this lap now. And the interesting thing is it going to be... Yes, it's going to be hard tyres. Hard tyres to the end. I'm pretty certain that's what all of them are going to do now. As we are approaching 3/4 race distance now. We've been live for a solid 2 hours and 36 minutes. And there's going to be quite a few more minutes racing left to go. Now, is the pit boxes going to play a bit of a role here? I don't think there's going to be anyone getting held in the pits here. But we will have to wait and see, because I think they're both going to box now. Who's going to be more ambitious on the brakes? Was definitely more ambitious on the brakes. It's Battle of the Pit Crews. He did get held. Could have been out a lot closer to Simo there. But where's Fred? Fred's already gone past. He's had an absolutely perfect outlap. He's got the gap up very nicely. And he's got his tyres up to temperature, which is the important thing. Now I see yellow flags, but there's not actually any incidents to report. So I'm not totally sure what that one's about, but not to worry. There's Brooke and Varks swapping around now. So strategy-wise, you're going to want to go for a couple more laps. You want to get to maybe lap 37 on your medium if you want to set a medium tyres to the end. You want to go a bit past half distance, which is 36 laps. The most we saw was about 35 laps in part 1 of this. So yeah, they're going to want lap 38 to box for a set of mediums. And they're going to be looking at around lap 50 onwards for a set of soft tyres. So if you want to make it to the end now, it's got to be hard tyres, as the top guys have shown. We're going to go on board with Simo, as he's actually beginning to really reel in Fred now. I just wonder, is he pushing a bit too hard? Or has he just found his rhythm a bit more in this second race? I think it might be a combination, given his ERS battery charge is quite low. But driving wise, he looks to be quite on it. Yep, it's down to 5/10. Has he got enough to pass Fred? He's going to need something fairly special to do this, as Fred has got a huge amount of pace this weekend. But we are going to see in the next 36 laps whether Simo can get past. All he's got to do now is just follow him in the DRS. But let's not forget that Dirt Shark is still there with them. Still in the DRS. He's looking a bit better on his ERS management. So if those two have even the slightest bit of contact, he's going to be thinking, you know what, I fancy this. But now we need to think that Simo had a very big delta to Fred in the first race. He's got to make up a lot of time. In fact, in the first race, Simo was 53 seconds behind Fred. So the gap was quite large at the end of that race. So it means that Fred can effectively afford to let him go and still actually finish the race ahead of him. What he needs to do is beat Dirt Shark by over, I believe it's 6 seconds is the magical number. He needs to beat him by 8 seconds to take home the win for this part of the race. Oh, but Simo's wide. Let's let him nearly get underneath him. Not quite though. That was a bit of a mistake, but you can afford to make those, as the gaps to the cars further back is quite huge. As we start lap 38, oh, it's a lock-up. He's not really able to capitalise, and Simo's got back in DRS anyway. Brook and Barks are still going at it. Barks has clearly found some pace over the first race. Oh, there's contact. And Brook spins him round, unfortunately. I think he's waiting to let him back through. That's good sportsmanship. And the yellow flags are for him, but don't stop moving, otherwise the game will disqualify you. He started moving now. And he's going to be under attack from Clay Racing, who has also let past again. And now he's going to go for a set of tyres. He's spun into the pit lane. And he's retired from the session. It's going to be no points to Brook Littlewood. That's not going to help Alfa Romeo in their bid for a higher place in the Constructors' Championship, as they've got no points on the board today, which is not the one. So we ride with Sumo. I think he's just biding his time now. He knows there's nothing too much to worry about here. He's got everything under control at the moment. Can we see some fireworks between these two before the end of the race? I certainly hope so. I would love to see some kind of a battle between them. So Alfa Romeo, are they going to lose any points to Aston Martin? They're not. They've got off lucky because Aston Martin are not going to be scoring today. And AlphaTauri are not scoring 10 points. We haven't actually mentioned Graham in this race. He's been driving a fairly quiet one. And in 7th place on the medium tyres. Very close to Warren. So the Constructors' Championship is quite close between McLaren and Alpine Renault, but it certainly won't be after this. I think, especially with Fred in first place at the moment, second overall in this race. I'll give them the straight 15 points, which will put them towards Red Bull fairly nicely at the moment, but then Red Bull are also scoring fairly well too. Mercedes are looking strong as well, up there in 5th and 6th. So it's really a case of figuring this one out right at the end. I think what I'll have to do is take a Discord screenshot pardon me, and then add them all together in the spreadsheet and then figure out where everybody filters out. Actually, this is looking good for Haas, who will overtake AlphaTauri as it stands, with Neil in 4th place. And Clay in 8th, compared to only Graham in 7th. And it's not looking so great for Williams, unfortunately, as they will not be scoring that many points. They'll be scoring 4 with Emilio. Sorry, 5 with Emilio, as it stands. I'm going to see if These guys are not making any inroads on each other. I don't think they're really trying to. I think they're really just conserving because each one of them has no motivation to attack the person in front when they think about it logically. Dirt Shark only needs to stay within 8 seconds of the lead and he wins the race. Fred's trying to pull away. And Simo is guaranteed the championship if it finishes like it is now. And even if he did pass Fred, he would need to get nearly a minute up the road if he wanted to keep the position on track. And he'd have to beat the pair of them by a minute to get the win. So it's all kind of stalled out a bit now at the front. But hopefully we can get some more action. Oh, that's not the kind of action that Dirt wanted. Just caught the back marker at the wrong point. That's Emilio. Not much he could have done there. He just tried to get out the way, but caught 3 cars at the same time. It's quite difficult to get out of the way of all of them easily and without hurting one of their races ever so slightly. Blaze Racing has picked up a track limits penalty, unfortunately. That's going to drop him behind Barks. And I'm seeing a yellow flag. Is that the other Red Bull of Zabijaka? Didn't seem to last for very long, so sometimes the game throws the yellows out quite cautiously. I'll just throw them out. And if somebody's going slightly slowly. So if you lock up and then go slowly round a corner to avoid a gravel trap, then sometimes it'll think that you're actually a hazard on track, and that's where they have a yellow flag. But again, Fred's not able to pull away from Simo, who's driving a solid race so far. And we're going to see what he can do with DRS. But he's quite far back at the moment. He's 9/10 back. He's not going to get any kind of advantage in terms of an F1 overtake from there. So he only gained 2/10 back from 9/10. So you really want to be a good 7/10, I reckon. Oh, hi Brendan. Welcome back to the chat. Barks is in 9th. Yeah, Brooke, he actually crashed with Barks. I think he tapped the back of him, lost his front wing, and the race wasn't going so well, so I think he quit. He retired in the pits. And Barks got half spun, and he's recovered it. And he's in 9th place at the moment. But we are nearing the end of the race, and the 3 leaders are split by 3 seconds. Interfam drama. Yeah. Oh, Clay's Racing's been given a penalty. I think that's the track limits one. As we see now, up to 7th place have been lapped. But actually this is going to be an interesting dynamic, as Julius Race has still got a fair amount of pace and a brand new set of medium tyres. Is he actually going to be looking to catch up to those guys? And next I'm catching up with the Littlewoods. Yeah, they'll take each other on Jeremy Kyle if it carries on. But we're nearly at the final part of this race now. We're looking at about another 3 or 4 laps until the pit stop window opens if you want to take your soft tyres to the end of the race. At the moment you won't be able to stretch yourself soft tyres, it's only going to be mediums that'll make it to the end from here. And Simo's beginning to lose a bit of time to Fred on the last lap. But also Fred is catching some lap traffic now. So we'll see how does this catch you soon. Yeah, have fun with whatever it is you're doing. Wait, you're probably sleeping because it's midnight for you, so have a good night's sleep, Brendan, and have fun with whatever joys Ferrari life brings you tomorrow. And this backmarker is going to give Simo some DRS, probably, I think. Yeah, it did. But actually, it slowed him down on the exit. Now, the last thing that any one of these guys wants to do is get a penalty now. Yellow in sector 2, that is Zabi Jaka, I believe. It's probably come a cropper on the curb. And he's got the engine glitch, so we're going to a different driver. So the gaps are kind of evened out between these guys now. They're all out of DRS with each other. And it seems to be that they're slower than whoever's in front of them and quicker than whoever's behind them. And we're actually going to switch have a look at the fastest laps. So look at that from the top 3, that is ridiculous. Their fastest laps are within half a tenth. That just shows that these guys really are evenly matched to a T. So we're actually going to have a look at the intervals between drivers now. Now the reason we're going to do that is because then it will give us a better picture at the end of the race, because it won't just say 1 lap down when people cross the line. And hopefully I'll be able to give you guys some unofficial results as soon as this is finished. But I think at the front, the race win has been concluded already, as I think Dirt Shark is sitting comfortably in 3rd place and Fred's not going to pull 5 and a bit seconds on him. Not quite. I don't think he's going to be able to manage that, unfortunately. I think he's going to try his best, as of course they all are, but he doesn't really have a pace advantage and has 1 lap older tyres. Although that being said, he has pulled away a bit on this lap from Simo Pez. So maybe Simo's just beginning to struggle with the tyres. Maybe he's pushed them a bit too much to catch Fred. And in fact, this is probably what Fred needs, to be fair. If Simo backs up Dirt Shark, he's not going to back him up into another driver. But if he backs him up in terms of time, and they start battling, then that's going to allow Fred to just creep away, and they'll destroy their tyres and lose lap time trying to pass each other. As the gap's now up to 4 seconds between them. Zabijaka sets the first lap in 11.6. That really is not going to be beaten unless somebody comes in for a new set of tyres right at the end. And it's fairly inevitable. That's going to stand as the fastest lap. Now it's going to be soft tyres if people want to pit. Race Racing's got a bit longer on those tyres. Oh, that throws a spanner in the works. That's a 3-second time penalty for Dirt Shark, and if Fred's heard that or noticed that, that's going to be huge. Now somebody has spun at turn 1. I believe that's Clay's Racing. So now he's on the bubble. This is looking good for Fred for the win. But I don't think it's going to help him in the championship fight, unfortunately. It looks like it's going to be over, and Simo is going to be taking home the championship at the end of this race. It's going to be close, but unfortunately we're not going to get a final round finale unless we get some fireworks happening here. Now here comes Dirt Shark. He's got to dispatch Simo right now and start trying to set some laps in, because if he carries on getting backed up by Simo, then he's not going to be able to hold the 8-second advantage that he had over Fred, as he's just pulling away left, right and centre now. So either Fred has found some extra pace, or Simo's blitzed his tyres and ERS a bit too much now. But I don't think he'll be too concerned, as at this rate he is going to be going to the championship win. Zabijaka appears to have had a bit of a off at turn 1. The gap's going up massively every lap. He's going to have to make a dive from here, and a dive is what he tries. But it's put Simo off a little bit. Not enough to make the move though, but he's right on him now. These guys are now going to be costing each other time trying to fight over this. Now he's going to get underneath him surely. He's left him plenty of space on the traction. But now it's going to be tricky for Dirt Shark to keep inside of that window. And I think Fred must be loving this now. He's just able to open it up a little bit. Not too much, because he knows his tyres could be worse for wear as well as Simo's. But he knows it's going to be tough one. In fact, he's just approaching. He's just past Zabijaka, who appears to have had another issue. Not quite the race he would have wanted. Maybe Zandvoort isn't his track, but here, he doesn't defend. Dirt Shark has got the place, and that's job done. Now the gap is 8.7 between him and Fred. So Fred needs to hold an advantage of 5 seconds or more over Dirt Shark by the end of the race to win. But the interesting thing to look out for now is, can Simo fight back? Does he have anything left? Was he just waiting to be overtaken to try and let Dirt Shark drag him along? We will find out very shortly. I think he's going to be too far back to make an overtake from here, unless he really is spamming his ERS. Yeah, he's going to be nowhere near. And importantly, Dirt Shark has taken a couple of tenths out of Fred. He's going to need to do more than that though. He has got time. That's the one thing on his side. He's got a lot of time to get on with this. I mean, look at that. Fred's put in a slightly better first sector. This is going to come down to the wire. The gap's just fluctuating up and down depending on where they are on track and what speed they're doing. Importantly, the gap's actually gone up to 6 seconds at that point in the lap. So I think a little bit more pace being shown from Fred here. Maybe he did just have that little bit extra in the tank. There's still quite a few laps left in it. I think Neil has just about passed Julius Race. Turning in on the grass seems to be the strategy. Made it through there quite nicely. And he is just slowly losing touch with Neil now. He's driven a good race to get up to 5th place. And Warren is occupying 4th place, so it's looking a good haul for Mercedes. Oh, but interestingly, the gap's gone up. I think Dirt Shark has had a bit of an issue. There's a yellow in sector 3. That looks like it's Sparks who's gone for the pits. Oh, he just went for the pits and it displayed a yellow flag. So he's going to be looking for fastest lap, surely. He's looking for a new front wing, that's what he's looking for. But Simo is right in the back of Dirt Shark now. So now as he overpushed his tyres, I haven't really done too much of this myself, so I'm not really sure if it's that bad of a temperature sensitive track where you begin to overheat the tyres and that's when they wear out. Or if he's just pushing so hard he's just making a few mistakes here and there. He's also drained a fair amount of his battery, but so is Simo. He tends to run his battery quite low, I've noticed. He doesn't mind staying on about 15% for the whole time. Gap's at 9/10, so he's going to have DRS down this mini little straight. He just needs to try and find a tenth or two in these final few corners. I think Fred's got the message and has decided to back off a little bit now. Just doesn't want to overheat the tyres, overstress them. He's got a very safe cushion at the moment to win the race. And Simo's not going to be making a move from there. Actually, Neil is catching up to Racing Warren, so we're going to have a look at this. He's on 6 lap soft tyres, and Warren's on 27 lap mediums. Oh, that's going to be a horrible set of tyres by the end of the race. Because he's going to have to do, what's that, 14 laps? On top of 27 lap old tyres. That's going to be a... Where did Emilio end the first... How are you typing and driving? Emilio, yeah, finished in 10th. And Emilio EMS finished in 14th. So I hope that one clears that up. I'm assuming you're looking at, can I go and hit some more tyres to get a fastest lap again? Simo's, he's there or thereabouts with Dirt Shark. He seems to have recovered some pace now. As we start lap 60 now. Got 13 more to go. Not quite going to be the 4 hours and 4 minutes of Zandvoort as it was with Canada back in 2011. It's going to get to about 3.5 hours worth of live stream. So I hope this has been enjoyable. And, ooh, Warren squeezes in there. Just gave him no chance to try anything around the outside. It's like, nah, you're right. But now he's going to get mugged on the straight here, surely. With DRS and blitzing the ERS now. I don't think there's much he can do here. Although he must be running a bit low downforce. Oh, he moves in the braking zone on him. That was a bit late from Warren there. He tried to move across him while he was committing for a move. That was a bit sketchy. I don't know what the steward's view is on that, but we will find out post-race. And there's a yellow flag, but I'm not really sure for. I think Emilio EMS is a little bit slow in the final corner. It's popping up random yellow flags now because the Haas of Play Racing just running the lead going through a sector at normal race speed, and it gave him a yellow flag. So Simo's still there. The gap's stable up front, including the penalty. Sorry, not including the penalty. So we'll find out. Clay Racing's been given a penalty. Round the outside, Warren's going to show him the door here, surely. Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling that was always going to happen there. If you want to make a move like that, you really have to get firmly alongside and smash the throttle on the exit. And make them back out of the move. He's not going for one at the inside here, surely. That would have been ambitious, and that would have been an accident, probably, if he'd committed to that. So it's good that he's backed out of it and gone for a more sensible option now. A good move I haven't seen a lot of people pull is up the inside here, like this, but as a dive. Because it's actually a fairly wide entry that people tend to take. If you have a driver in front of you that likes the wide entry, you can just send it in up the inside, get alongside, but not too much. You want to leave them the room. And these two are going at it. So it's got a bit closer. Now this is really looking good for Fred. If these two battle some more. It's just cost them 9/10 in terms of raw gap to Fred. And yeah, it just cost them 9/10. I mean, to Simo, it doesn't really make a difference. But to Dirt Shark, it's the difference between winning this race and not. Although he is going to need to pull a fair bit more back if he wants to win the race, given the penalty. Nine to go now. And he was on lap 135 of this race. These guys have done incredibly well to make it this far. Incredibly well. Just keep going. Oh, Zabijak has had a bit of an incident there, I think. I heard the sound of gravel there. That was a bit odd. And it looks like these two are side by side, and Neil's going to get the place on the exit. He's finally made the move. Is he going straight around the outside? That's ambitious. Oh, this is going to end badly for one of you. Looks like they're making it work. Is Neil going to hold it around the outside? Yes, he is. Oh, but Warren sends it in beautifully. He left him just enough room. Enough racing room. That was a lovely little move there. And actually, hold on. We're going to get Simo versus Dirt Shark round 2 by the looks of it. Is he going to send a dive to the inside? No, not quite. But he's going to get underneath him here, surely, if he gets a better exit. Not quite. And we're going to find... Oh, this is going to be textbook, this is. There's not a lot Warren can do, and I think he knows it. He's just blitzing his ERS to try and stay as far alongside. Oh, that's deep on the brakes, but he's made it work. What a move from Warren. As Neil tries to escape this Mercedes sandwich he seems to be stuck in. This is great action that we're getting towards the closing stages of this race. We're going to see the move on the home stretch again. Or we're going to see something here. I think he's a bit far back to launch something from here. And I was right. So we're going to see Neil's attack on the home stretch. Right here, right now. Here we go. Simo hasn't managed to make the move stick. And Warren's derating. And Neil's going to send it round the outside. No, there just wasn't the gap there. There wasn't the opportunity. Didn't quite have the cornering speed to make that move stick. It was close. Now we're going to see Warren's derating like crazy on every single acceleration zone at the moment. He's got no ERS left to play with. We're experiencing a little bit of lag, but nothing too worrying. But he's gone deep, and Neil's going to try and send it up the inside. And Warren just chops across the nose of him there. And Julius behind is getting fairly interested in this battle, but I think he's locked up. Just got surprised by Neil breaking a little bit early and locked up to make sure that he didn't hit him. And here we go again. Neil's got absolutely nothing on his ERS though. They're both so low on ERS. Both sets of tyres are going to be absolutely done at this point. Neil's less so than Warren's. Oh, I've ran the outside. That's ambitious. Didn't quite make the move stick. Simo is still 6/10 behind. How about here? Surely not the inside here. No. Oh, but Warren's sideways. He defends. Is Neil going to be able to throw something up the inside here? Oh, but he's on the grass. He's on the grass and he's lost out to both Mercedes. And he was actually ahead of both of them on track, but only just. He barely beat Warren in the previous race. And he's going to lose out for now. He's got to hope that these guys have some kind of an issue and he can get back in the fight. Fred seems to be cruising out front now as he's about to start the final couple of laps now. I think he's just coasting because he knows all he needs is 5 seconds advantage, and he's sitting at 8.2 at the moment. You can afford to back off, maybe save up the battery. I think Simo knows he's not going to get the move done for the actual overall position on Dirt Shark, but I think he might be looking to get a move on him for pride and to really finish out this championship with a win. Would be exactly what he would have wanted. It's not quite how it's going to transpire, but it looks like it's still going to be a podium for him as Brooke retired, so he was already promoted and he's beating Neil, so he's pretty much guaranteed it. Warren's defending is on the limit, shall we say. I don't know the exact rules that they have on defending, but if you do that in GT racing, for example, then the other drivers will be like, fair enough, and then they'll do it back to you, because that's how the racing code works in GT racing. Oh, Neil's picked up a time penalty to compound that. But in, say, F1 and F2 and F3, the same sort of driving does tend to get penalised. If you look at Spa, when Nikita Mazepin pretty much... Oh, dirt is round! Oh, and Simo's into dirt! Chaos on lap 70! And Dirt's been given a 5-second time penalty. This has absolutely handed the race to Fred. But it's not going to mean a whole lot, because they're a whole lap ahead of 4th place. Chaos on lap 70. Fred's going to win the race, but Simo's still in championship position. But going back to what I was saying, if you look at Spa, when it between Yuki Tsunoda and Nikita Mazepin, we'll ignore purely Mazepin's antics for the rest of the season and off track. Purely on track in that race, he forced Tsunoda off the track, and Tsunoda was trying to take the position and kept the position over Tsunoda and got a penalty for it. Oh, Niels, has he managed to get past Julius? He's surely going to send it back up the inside here. He's left him plenty of racing room though. And away he goes. He's up for revenge on Warren. And Julius is never going to make the move from there. As we start lap 71 now. I don't think Neil's going to be best pleased. That was a pretty forceful but really good and clean move to put one over on Julius Race. He's a bit too far back to get Warren from here. And Warren locks up, but that's not led him too far from the apex of the corner. Is there anything Neil can do? I sense the opportunities there. Warren's tyres are absolutely gone. He's done 39 laps. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a puncture from those tyres. He might be in puncture territory. But Fred starts the last lap, surely up the inside here. Warren sees it coming. He's defended, but he's gone very far wide here. Surely up the inside here. Might have a look to try and put him off. Not quite, but get a good exit here. Is there a chance for a move to the outside? No, Warren blocks him off. Very much in the braking zone. I think the stewards might have to have a hard think about what defending in the braking zone is viable and allowed and what is not. But we want to see Neil have a good fight here to the outside. Now he's on the outside and Warren's tried to push him off the track there. And somebody's had an issue. I think that's Abijaka. As the Shark is right behind Simo now. We're going to have to rejoin this battle as it rages on because Fred Nalesko comes out of the final corner and storms to the win. Can Dirt do anything? I don't think he's got enough. Anything to get the move to the line unless Simo runs out of ERS. He doesn't. And Simo Pez is your champion. And oh, Neil's up the inside. And Warren's trying to push him off the track again. This has got to be looked at. He was very far alongside. But is he going to get him on the way to the line here? Surely. With a bit of ERS, he might have him here. Is he going to get him on the line? Not quite. And there's a pile up at the finish line. I think the stewards are going to be having a look at that antics from Warren. It looked to me that Neil was very far alongside. And Warren just said, no, thank you. Into the gravel you're going or you're backing out. And I talked to Barks. And he said, leave half the track if you must, but don't force another driver off the track. But Simo Pez is your UK Essays Racing League champion of 2021 Season 1. With a round left to spare. Didn't quite have the result he may have wanted today. But I don't think that'll faze him all too much. We are now going to try and figure out the race results for you guys before we head off from the stream. We're going to find out where everybody finished and who got points. So a couple of people didn't finish, unfortunately. So they're not going to be getting any points. The delta thing's messing up a little bit, so we'll see what we can do. So I believe 11 people finished the race, I believe. So now we're just going to switch over to the intermission while I figure out the race results. All right, ready up, guys. It's round 3. Now, we're not going to be doing 300% endurance just yet, but congratulations to Simo, who is definitely going to be the champion. So Fred has definitely taken the win. And Simo's definitely in 3rd place, I think. So we're just trying to piece together the standings right now. So Warren was 4th, and that's going to be that. So I think it's clear to see that Fred has won the race. So that bit is definitely confirmed. So we're just finalising these results, and I'll be able to give them over to you. And then we can have a look at how it all finished provisionally, because my maths might not be perfect on the spot, but we can hope. Yeah, we're getting there. We're down to box now, so and then 2 plus. Right. Okay, let's have a look then. So Fred is the winner. Dirt Shark is 2nd. Simo is 3rd, and your champion of this season, I believe I can't count. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out if I've done this right. I have not. Half of these numbers are wrong for the first race, which is great. Oh, I see what I've done here. So roughly, it's Fred, Dirt Shark, Simo, Warren, Neil, Graham, Julius, Clay, Barks, Zabi, and Emilio EMS. That is my rough guesstimate as to the finishing order. But don't quote me on that, and the stewards might be looking at some things. So again, this is not final, but we can safely say with certainty that it was a good and event-packed 200% race. And I have to say a big congratulations to all of the drivers for finishing the race. That was that was a great race. And next time around, we're going to see the drivers' pole race, which is looking to be a 100% race at Monza at the moment, and that pole is closed. I'm not entirely sure when it's closed, but it's closed fairly soon, so it's pretty much a guarantee that that's what's going to happen. So we'll see 100% at Monza in a week's time at 7 GMT. Thanks for the entertainment. You're welcome. I'm glad people enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you stayed for the full distance, then I cannot thank you enough for sticking around and enjoying the action. And please go support the UK SA Racing League. Feel free to join the Discord, have a chat with some people, chat with the drivers, and just enjoy the community we've got here. So, until then, I hope everybody has an entertaining and a safe week, and I will see you guys and girls in a week's time. Bye for now.